If it hurts, you ain't afraid, smoke it, you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. Ball, obstacles, block, cut, sides, do the game, tap, this win it. First shit again, we're here for the first minute. Can everybody give me that 6 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Unbelievable place. Great university. Knoxville's unbelievable city. Great people. The passion for football is even greater than I thought it would be. And man, Neyland Stadium, I said it, a couple of years ago, and I still think it's the best football experience for a college football fan or a player in the country.
Just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. The old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Mark Stoops is 2-9 against this team, and to walk around this place before the game, I was disgusted. The smugness of those guys just walking around like, we're going to walk in here, we're going to kick your ass, and you can't do anything about it. And it made me sick. And you know what? They did it. They still did it. What the hell? Can we just beat this team? I know that Mark Stoops has done a lot of good things. This is his one really bad thing. The stupid stat about beating teams with a winning record and taking the next step and blah, blah. Just freaking beat Tennessee. Please, can we just stop losing to this stupid team with their stupid orange color, their stupid
I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
Like I said, we play with a chip on our shoulder at Tennessee. So, we get a lot of disrespect. So we want to make it clear that we're going to come out and dominate day in and day out.
Good Wednesday evening. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. I'm joined by the guy with the biggest ego in the room. Coach Shay, what's going on, brother?
I'm feeling good, Boogie. I don't know what it is, but Coach Shay just has a smile on his face all dang day, man. Just ear to ear. It's like Santa Claus came a little bit late, but man, he brought that shiny new bike that Coach Shay wanted for Christmas. So I'm ready to go. I feel good. Do we have anything to talk about tonight? Do we have, I guess, is there a little, did news break today? I'm not sure if news broke today because if you ask me, news broke last night. Man, I had some fun with the Facebook group, right? Last night,
epic NCAA stream for multiple reasons. Absolute train wreck. But mid-NCAA stream, Coach Rice pops in and says, Boogie, you may want to jump on the General's Quarters, AP dropping some knowledge. So I went to the Facebook group. I had some fun with it. I said, oh, by the way, Nico's starting. What do y'all think about that? Dude, the hate I got. Oh, if it's not official, if there's no post from Joe, if there's no media post, if there's nothing out there, then you're an idiot and a troll. Woke up this morning, made another video, doubled down on it, said Nico was starting, and then they started to talk about Nico, and I said, by the way, I'm waiting on the apologies. The Nico era starts. Now we're going to get into that. We're going to break that down. We got a big cast of characters coming up a little bit later. We're going to break down the Citrus Bowl, Tennessee versus Iowa. We're going to get into some of the opt-outs and look at what that matchup is going to actually look like. We got Bennett Warren in the house. Dude, do you understand? There's only one time zone, Coach Jay. We got together, what was it, last Friday to record some film breakdowns?
Yep.
We're 3 hours apart. You said, Boogie, 3, and I said, no, 12. And you're like, well, no, 3. And I'm like, well, no, 12. Apparently everybody has a problem. There's only one time zone, and that is the Eastern time zone. You didn't understand it. Coach Rice didn't understand it, and Bennett Warren didn't understand it. So he's running a little bit late. He should be here within about 5-10 minutes or so. We're gonna shoot the bull. We're gonna see what you guys are up to, and then Bennett's gonna jump in here and talk a little ball with us. Let's see who is in the chat. Let's see who's hanging out here. White Lightning Bob is in the house. Say Mayo Bowl here. What's he talking about? I don't ever know what you guys are talking about. Sean Rainey says Colt fam, what's cracking? I love these player episodes. These are because of you guys. You guys make these happen. So let's make another one happen. Let's take to Twitter. Let's be Vol Nation, and let's go get somebody else in here to talk some Tennessee football. Fallout Zone is here. What's up, brother? Appalach Hon Adventures is in the house. Kenny Jones is here. Faye Thomas is here. Randy's in the house. What's up, brother? Connor is here. Mrs. Coach J is always here. Orange Sea Line says, told y'all Joe was him. Stepping out of the way is Giga Chad moves. We're going to talk about Joe a little bit later when everybody jumps on, but you got to give him credit, Coach Jay. You got to give him praise. The fact that he is at bowl practice. He's sitting in on meetings. He's mentoring Nico, getting him ready for this bowl game coming up.
Yeah, Joe's done everything you can ask him, short of being as good as Hendon, maybe, right? Like, so and that's, listen, those are gigantic boots to fill, right? Like, what a tough, impossible act to follow. And we held Joe to an extremely, at least I did, high standard all year. But the guy who's been a consummate teammate, and I know Kaner was debating it on his channel earlier about what is a VFL. Joe Milton's a VFL in Coach Jay's book, and I hope in everyone else's book too. A guy that stuck around when he didn't have to, could have jumped in the portal. A guy who's been a great teammate. A guy who seems to always have put Tennessee above himself, and that's all you can ever ask for out of any kid, man. So wish him the best of the luck, and you know what? I'm still rooting for Joe to succeed. Maybe he's one of those guys where the NFL game really clicks for him. That NFL smooth football feels a little bit better in the hand, and it comes out perfectly and on time. But he definitely has some work to do on his reads to get there. But I'm 100% rooting for him and hope things work out the best for Joe Milton.
Man, it'd be huge for Tennessee football. You put Hendo Cinco to the league. You put Joe Milton to the league. You hope that Nico's just going to be here for a few years. Then you send him to the league. Guys, don't forget, Bennett Warren's going to be in the house coming up here in just a few moments. We got 320 people watching live. Do me a favor right now. First, smash the thumbs up. That's easy. Hit the share button. Put it on Twitter. Put it on Facebook. Put it on Instagram. Let Tom over at MySpace know that we're going to be interviewing Tennessee Vol commit and signee. I think he was the cherry on top for a great offensive line class. We got some fun questions in store for him, but share it out. Let people know that we are live and we're going to be interviewing Bennett Warren here in just a second. Let me hit some super chats real quick. Louisiana Vol for 5 says it's official. Nico Time Dorfy, I am hyped, ready for Monday. Got it planned out with my Gramps, his house, 11 o'clock Monday morning. Orange out, go big orange. But 11 o'clock, whose time? Louisiana Ball, because you're always going to confuse people. And then Coach Jay shows up late.
I'm here at 8 a.m.
Shows up late, and then Coach Rice is saying, do you mean it's my time or your time? And I said, Coach Rice, there's only one time, and it is Eastern time. I'm going to get you guys trained up on that soon enough. You guys went nuts in the chat. Ladarian Roper becomes a member of the channel, which we appreciate that. You guys can do the same by hitting the join button down below. And then I think you guys were trying to gift somebody specific a free membership. Angry Titan gifted one. Louisiana Vol gifted one. Louisiana Vol gifted another one. Angry Titan gifted another one. Angry Titan gifted one more. Louisiana Vol gifted one more. Louisiana Vol gifted 5. And then his wife came in the room and said, what in the hell are you doing? Our credit card bill is going nuts, but you guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys gifting those memberships. Sling Blade drops a 20 spot. That's an orange boy. I'll scroll down here and we'll play the clip. Put those Pat McAfee emojis in the chat.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Sling Blade says, Colt of 8, let's go. And by the way, Evening Boogie. Well, thank you, Sling Blade, for recognizing me and what I'm bringing to the channel. Colt of 8, or is it Colt of Jake? I don't know, but thank you for the $20. Very generous, Sling Blade. Jody Wooten for 2 says, really excited for the beginning of the Nico era. Scotty Hurley for 5 says, just wait. Hold on a second. Just wait, baby. Just wait for this momentum train. Nico is about to turn. 2024 expectations 1 up to the max. Let's go, baby. Thank you, Scotty, for the super chat. We appreciate that. Wade's been a member for 1 month. Says, what's up, Boogie and Coach Jay? It is Nico time. GBO. Louisiana Ball for 2 says, need Coach Jay to get Nico in here. Come on, Coach. You know, sometimes you don't lean on your friends for favors. You just let things happen organically. That's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure to ask Coach Jay to go grab the number 1 player, the starting quarterback at Tennessee. We'll let things sit where they may. But if Coach Jay does that, we'll see what happens. Scotty for 2 says, Joe is the definition of VFL. So much respect. Knoxville Predator Catcher becomes a member of the channel. Talkin VAWLS Elite. That is at the $10 tier. Shout out Knoxville Predator Catcher. We appreciate that. We're going to do a fan call-in show on New Year's Eve, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Who knows? Maybe we'll get weird. Maybe we'll stay up until midnight. You never know. Get those memberships in. That is a perk that you guys receive. He also drops a $10 super chat. Says, imagine Omar Norman Lott and Omari Thomas pushing Nico on short yardage plays instead of tush push. We call it the Nico Sneako. I love that Coach Rice is in the green room watching. I wish he was on here so he could comment on the tush push. Are they making it illegal in the NFL?
That's what I've been hearing. So they might be. They might be. Hey, didn't it used to be illegal? I'm pretty positive it was illegal for a while, and then they changed the rule. So, yeah, maybe.
I bet Coach Rice is devastated. Jenny for 2 says, I think the players are at Disney Springs. Thank you, Jenny, for the super chat. How funny is it that and by the way, Dylan and good old Nate Pruitt, I see your all super chats. I'm going to read them for Bennett when he jumps on the show here in just a few minutes. How funny is it that they're down there at UCF? And it was kind of cool, though. Coach Heupel, I saw with his press appearance, said that some of the old players from UCF are going to come hang out at the hotel one night this week. So he's back on familiar grounds.
Oh yeah, it's really cool that they're in familiar turf, and who knows? Maybe Coach Hype is dipping into the rich recruiting grounds in the state of Florida as well. That'd be nice, right? Get a couple young prospects a little more interested in the University of Tennessee. Keep building it.
Guys, come on in, smash the thumbs up, share out the link if you're just popping in the chat. Bennett Warren, we had a little mix-up on time, but he is on the way. He is en route to his house. He's got the link. He's going to pop on here in just a few moments, and we're going to have a great conversation with a guy that is committed. He is signed. Let's talk about Bennett since he's not here. We can talk about him because he's not here. Maybe he'll sneak in and he'll change his mind and leave. When I look at this class of 24, and this is something I'm going to mention to him too, I think it's very, you talk about the athleticism. We talk about guys like Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley. There's a lot of athletes, Boo Carter, Caleb Beasley. I can go on and on. There's a lot of athletes in this class, but I really think the win is on the offensive line, and Bennett Warren's the guy that kind of came out of left field and became that cherry on top for me. A huge, one of the biggest offensive linemen in the class. What do you think about him and his game?
I love his game. Plays with a heavy dose of violence. You can use that buzzword everyone loves to use for offensive linemen. He's a bully. He definitely likes to play bully ball. He finishes blocks. Really good bend. For being as tall and as big as he is, he's got a good bend. Is apt in pass protection as well as run blocking. Nice, good typewriter feet. Kicks out really well. Like to see a little more pulling out of him, but a guy with checks a lot of boxes, got a lot of tricks in his bag, plays in a very competitive program. Definitely got some questions for Bennett about that program he plays in over there at Fort Bend Christian Academy, and we'll get into that when he gets in. But really excited, big kid, absolute beast that you can build around a left tackle or a right tackle that you can plant there and really feel like your quarterback is well protected and is safe to kind of be a little riskier, run a little more conflicting routes a little bit further downfield and just put a little more pressure on that defense when you can get a little more time for your quarterback back there. So the sky's the limit for that kid. And once again, that size and length that pro scouts will tell you cannot teach, Boogie.
Couple more super chats coming in here. Vol fan in the Air Force for $5 says door fee GBO. We appreciate that, brother. Thank you for the super chat. Brian Allison for $2. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that. Brian, Louisiana Vol for $2. If you got Boo on here, he could open up some doors. We'll make that happen. I would love to have Boo Carter. I think he would be a show stealer. I think he would be Mr. Personality. He would be a fun conversation. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. I'm down. This was an idea I had a while ago. But again, sometimes the powers that be deny you, but you can't deny the fans. The fans always win. And like I said at the top of this show, you guys made the Jamal Wallace interview happen. You guys made the Bennett Warren happen. You guys are in control. You guys take to Twitter. You let your voice be heard. We will get anybody and everybody on here. So I appreciate the strength of the Talkin VAWLS community. Knoxville Predator catcher for $10 says, of course, I'm ready for Nico, but I'm excited to see Sampson and Selden taking the snaps at running back. I'm excited for that too, and there's something that we're going to talk about with that coming up once we get everybody on the show here in just a moment. Sling Blade for 20, that's an orange boy. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Sling Blade says, I forgot to acknowledge Coach Jay as well. Evening, Coach.
Evening.
Acknowledge him. Acknowledge him.
I feel acknowledged.
Shout out Coach Jay for all the work on Jermod McCoy's film breakdown. The most viewed film breakdown we have ever done, approaching 5,000 views. I love that you guys are digging that series. But thank you, Sling Blade, for the super chat. Wade for $20. That ain't cheap. Y'all being nuts tonight.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Wade says, Colt of 8. It's football time in Tennessee. We're going to annihilate Iowa. It's good to have Bennett Warren in the boat. I'm looking forward to seeing Dylan Sampson and Cam Selden do their thing in the bowl game. GBO. Thank you, Wade, for the super chat. Man, I'm excited for the Nico era. I am, man. I'm fired up. I'm excited. If you're just now popping in, we're over 400 people watching live. We got Bennett Warren coming up here in just a moment. We're waiting on him to get home, get settled, get the link, and jump on here. We had some confusion with the time zone. He said, do you want to reschedule? I said, I got the gift of gab, baby. I can talk all day long about absolutely nothing, and that's what we're going to do until he pops in here. I do see Dauber and Coach Rice in the back room. They're getting upset. They're like, I didn't sign up for this, Boogie. I signed up to be here at 7:30. They're going to have to wait. They're going to have to wait. We got business to attend to. I want to get back to Bennett Warren and talking about the offensive line. When he committed back during, what was it, the summer? I think it was when he committed. There was a lot of speculation that a lot of this offensive line was going to leave. John Campbell was going to be in the NFL. Cooper Mays was going to be gone. Gerald Mincy, who knows how his career played out. Javonte Spraggins, likely gone. Now all these guys are coming back, and I think that's huge, man. I think it's great for Bennett Warren to be able to sit down, sit under the learning tree, develop under Coach Ellerby, sit behind John Campbell, and give him a year to grow. The offensive line is not a concern, but maybe a concern for 2025, wouldn't you say? I think obviously it's going to be a strength now for 2024.
Yeah, I'd say a little bit of a concern, but man, I feel really good about it because now you can kind of, lead them kind of slow through, let them get that many more reps, let that group bring them on and teach them hands-on. When you're running endos in practice, you work against each other a lot of times, and that's that time where you get that all too valuable peer-to-peer coaching. And I think we're going to get a lot of that. I mean, if you think about all these kids from Bison Lang, to Sham to Bennett Warren now. Just keep going down that line. These are all kids who are going to be a little bit longer in the beard, longer in the tooth when it becomes their turn. They'll have gotten their man strength a little bit, right? They won't be all of a sudden, 18-year-old kids going against 23, 24-year-old men. They'll be 20, 21-year-old kids going against those 22-year-old men that are seniored out. So I think it's just extremely valuable whenever you can get defense alignment and offense alignment in there at a young age and give them that year to 2 years to truly mature. To me, that's a really clear sign of a healthy program, Boogie. So I'm excited about it. I got to be frank.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too, and I've said it multiple times. I think 2024, I think that's go time for Josh Heupel. I think if they don't deliver, if Nico is a miss and he's not who we think he is, I don't know if Josh Heupel's going to be the guy. On the flip side of that, if Nico is who we think he is and he goes out and delivers, and talking business with my poor wife, just listens to me talk Tennessee football and how that translates to the YouTube channel on a regular basis. And I'm like, I think you look at 2022 was a huge year for the Talkin VAWLS network, and a lot of that was because of success. And when you look ahead to 2024, and if Nico is who we think he is, this channel is going to the moon. Like the people are going to come out of the woodwork. They're going to want to watch Tennessee football again. But then from a coaching standpoint, for Josh Heupel, if Nico doesn't deliver, if he's not who you think he is, you got a lot of problems on your hands. You got a quarterback problem. Is Jake Merklinger that dude? It's such a popular opinion. The people that love, I almost think they love misery. It's like, well, what happens when Nico sucks? You going to call for Jake Merklinger? Well, no, I'm not counting on Nico sucking.
Yeah, hey, listen, it can always get worse, right? Like for anyone who wants to be nega, right? It can always get worse. Can Nico not pan out? Sure. It's been well documented. I don't feel that way. I think Nico's going to be just fine. So will Hype have a big problem on his hand if he doesn't pan out? Yeah, sure. All the spring game warriors out there better hope that Gaston Moore is that kid that showed up in that spring game. Because otherwise, Moore's in trouble. Coach Heupel's in trouble. People will be, hacking Coach J's account and calling him an idiot and what the heck's wrong with him and demanding that I burn my Cultivate t-shirt on air. And, of course, starting the Cult of Jake chat that Negavol throws up there. So, Nico is very, very big to Heupel. He put all of his trust in him. Listen, he didn't offer Arch Manning, right? He didn't offer any of those others more. He didn't offer any of those other strong quarterbacks. He went right to Nico. We got to remember, it might have been a kid that Coach Jay is high on, that Coach Jay's been around coaches that coach that are high on, that have coached Bryce that are high on. But at the end of the day, that was the kid that Heupel looked at when he looked at this super strong quarterback class, and he went like a laser beam. Give me that kid. Spire Sports. Get out the wallet. I need him to win. I need him right now. I'm going to put all of my money in on Nico, number 8, and push it to the center of the roulette table.
Yeah, I mean, that in itself is a good point. It tells you how much Coach Heupel valued him, right? How many times have we heard the Carnell Tates and the Francis Malingoas and, it was NIL, we didn't pay enough. Guess who they did pay for? Guess who they didn't back down to? They said, here's the deal, $8 million. Does anybody have a bigger NIL deal than that? I think that tells you where this coaching staff is on Nico. And, man, I say it all the time. If you have any doubts, go back and watch the video that I made talking about the pressure that's on Nico. Coach Jay put me on to that. Coach Pearson talking about Nico, who he is as a player, comparing him to Bryce. Says he's going to win a Heisman. Guys, he says he is going to win a Heisman. That tells you that's a dude that's been around a lot of talented players. And if you missed that video, go back and watch it. And if that doesn't change your mind, then nothing but watching Nico win is going to change your mind. And that's okay too. Like, you don't have to trust what Coach Jay says, what Coach Pearson says, what I say, what anybody says. It's perfectly fine to sit back and wait and see what Nico does.
Yeah, and you know what? Listen, for anyone who knows Coach P out here, he is not he's not one to shoot his mouth off, right? He's not one to go put out something that he doesn't truly believe with all of his heart. He's a coach who speaks his mind and speaks his mind almost to his detriment at times, right? He is one of those people, we all know him, who is brutally honest, right? He's one of those brutally honest people. They'll always tell you exactly how he feels, whether that be sunshine or gloom. So when Coach P says something like that, speaks words, Coach J definitely perks up, and anyone who's been around him or any one of his programs certainly perks up. Just a kid that seemingly has done everything right, and obviously the light's on now, man. The stage is about to get extremely bright, and it's about time for everyone to put their money where their mouth is.
Let me hit a couple of super chats real quick. We got 450 people watching live right now. We're waiting on the man of the hour, Bennett Warren, 4-star offensive tackle. Vol commit and Signee is going to be in the house. We had a miscommunication on time. He was en route to his house, said he would be there in about 20 minutes. That was about 40 minutes ago. But, hey, we can talk all night long. I just feel sorry for Dauber and Coach Rice just sitting down there looking at their watches. But, hey, it's all right. We're going to have a good time. We will stay live all night long. I've already given them a pass. I've given everybody a pass. If you need to leave, leave. We got a show to do, and we're going to do it. So stick around, share out the link, let somebody know. Coach Rice, I know he ain't going anywhere. That dude's delusional. Like, I'm surprised he didn't DM me on Christmas Day and say, Boogie, we got to do a live stream. I got something I got to let the people know about. We got to go live. We got to talk about it. Let me catch up on some super chats here. Jonah Vol for $20. That is not cheap. That is an orange boy. I will play the clip for Jonah Vol.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Jonas has been watching for about a year now. Finally became a member last month. Here's the late Dorfies. LOL. He says, LOL. Love the content. It is Nico time, baby. Thank you, Jonah Vol. Jackie Pickle for $5 says, Dorfie Boogie. Appreciate that super chat, brother. Thank you for the support, Jackie. Ron the Don says, GBO Boogie and Coach Jay, it's Citrus Bowl time. Pass around a cup of Nico Lade and let's go. Thank you, Ron the Don, for the super chat.
Man, I gotta pause you real quick, Boogie. I miss me some Ron the Don. You
Sunday.
know, like
he better be here Sunday.
I was just thinking we gotta like put out the Ron the Don bat symbol for Sunday, because we need him in here, man. We need him on this show. He needs to sing us a song about Nico and get us fired up, man. I'm looking forward to seeing Ron the Don and the whole regular cast, of course.
You know, I was so fired up this morning making the video talking about Nico, and somebody commented and said, bro, breathe. Like, calm down and take a breath. I'm sorry that I've got so much piss and vinegar in me, and I'm so excited. I love Tennessee football. I want to get on here and yell and scream into a microphone. I could be monotone. I could just say, welcome to the insert name podcast. No, that's not who I am, man. I get fired up. I get excited. Ladarian Roper, I'm pretty sure just upgraded. He upgraded to Talkin VAWLS Elite. Ladarian, we got to get you on here, man. Sunday, fan call-in show, 7 o'clock. Come hang out. The man of the hour is here. I can see him in the back room. Man, he's making my room look like trash. Bennett Warren is in the house. What is up, brother?
What?
We got to figure out time zones. You know, there's only one time zone, Bennett. Coach Jay's in California. Coach Rice is in Central time zone. There's only one time zone, and that's Eastern time zone, my man. We'll catch you up to speed.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Okay. Like, give me a couple minutes. I'm doing something. Come see me. All right. My bad.
What is up, my man? I appreciate you taking the time to jump on here and hang out with us, buddy.
Yeah, I'm a little late, but
hey, it's all good. I can talk to a brick wall, man. I can talk to anybody and everybody. We've been talking for 30 minutes, and we're just starting to scratch the surface. I went in a couple of super chats, though, Bennett. They wanted to throw money for you coming on the show. Good old Nate Pruitt drops a $5 super chat, says, welcome home, big man. Can't wait to see you play. Also, it's Nico time in Tennessee. Little news drop today, Bennett. I don't know if you've heard the news. What do you think? I saw somebody in the chat said, I would love to know what these players think about Nico. What do you think about Nico in the future? Hey, look, Spire Sports Group, I had a conversation with James Clausen one time, and he said, here's the deal, Boogie. You got to pay somebody to be a quarterback. You got to pay somebody to get after the quarterback, and you got to pay somebody to protect the quarterback, and that's you, Bennett. But what do you think about Nico in the future and your job protecting him for this football team?
Man, I think I've only ever really seen Nico on the field, and I watched him play a little bit against UConn. But like, I think the way like people talk about him and like the way people see him is exactly how he is. He's like cool, calm, and collected. He's always chill. I mean, I'm excited to block for the guy. I mean, you can see his talent. He just hadn't had his chance yet, but I think he's gonna be special. And as long as I can do my job and do it well, I see him being very good.
Let me hit another super chat here. Dylan Elam drops a 20 spot. We got to roll around here. You drop an Orange Boy, we got to play the clip. We got to celebrate. We appreciate the support.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Dylan asked me to read this to you directly. He said, Big Benny, super excited to see your career here. Thanks for sticking with us, even when obnoxious Colorado fans try to sway you away. And yeah, I've started something here. When Colorado fans come calling, we just say 4-8, and we leave it there. He says, keep Ocho and Jake safe for us, man. GBO. Thank you, Dylan, for the super chat. We appreciate it. Hey, you kept it classy, though, when that Colorado fan came to you. You quote tweeted him. You kept it classy.
I don't hate. I ain't got no reason to come at you badly, bro. But like the way that they were just like in my comments, I was like, leave it alone. I'm not going there. It's pretty obvious. I don't even have an offer from them.
Man, they can be pretty intense. Thank you for coming in once again, Bennett. Awesome to have you aboard, man. A big fan of your game. We've even broken down your film a little bit right around your live commit time, and
yeah,
awesome stuff, man. Yeah, absolutely awesome stuff. But I did want to ask you real quick. Man, you kind of, that program you came from, Fort Bend Christian, Coach Black over there, Coach Jordan Black, absolute legend in the game, played for Notre Dame. For those of you all don't know, 10 years in the NFL, Chiefs, Jags, Texans. Man, what can you tell us about Coach Black, and how do you feel like he affected your game?
Man, Coach Black is quite literally the reason I play what I play. I came to Fort Bend Christian as a 205-pound, like 6'4" kid, and he told me, or he sent me a message, and it was either you play tight end or you can play tackle. And I was like, before me there was a guy named Remington Strickland who was a 4-star too. He was a big, like strong dude, bench 405 coming out of high school, went to A&M, and now he just transferred to TCU. He was a great tackle there, and seeing him play that position, I was like, dude, I want to do that. He's just throwing people around. He's having absolute fun. And Coach Black, this is quite literally like quoted in his words. He said, "If you listen to me, I can make you one of, if not the best tackle in your class." And it happened. Listened to him, trained with him, ate how he told me to for a while, and I ended up going from 205 to 270, from 270 to 290, then from 290 to the 315 area that I played at this last season. And he was like, man, go be great. You do what you want to do. I can't tell you where to go. It's all your decision. I'm here for you. I support you either way. And I thanked him for everything. When we lost our last game, sadly we didn't win the championship, but he was there for me 100% of the way. Hugged me, told me I'll always have his number, and he was like, he almost became like a father figure. If you were to see how I act around him in practice, I'm like jumping on his back and stuff and messing with him. He'll put his pads on every once in a while and for our practices and actually show us how we're supposed to be doing stuff, go against us and stuff. It was
I gotta imagine he's got a little game left in the tank, right?
A little. Man, I can't even explain how many times he's come off the edge and just threw me on my back.
Yep.
Still works out with it. He deadlifts with us, squats with us, still squatting in the 600s, deadlifting in the 700s.
Yeah, man, that's special and awesome. And also, I do appreciate you clearing up for those of you who have asked me. No, us high school coaches do not try to sway recruits to go to a different school. I know I do wear a fan hat here, but it's all love, man, and it's the kid's choice at the end of the day. So, I appreciate that, Bennett.
Yeah.
Take us through, Coach Jay bringing up an interesting point, coaches, whether they impact you or sway you. Take us through what the recruiting process looks like, a little bit behind the scenes. One of the things, like we love to talk recruiting here. We love to cover it. And, some of the hate we get is, why would you cover that kid's live commitment when you knew he wasn't going to Tennessee? Man, we fall in love with you guys. It's fun to watch your journeys and track you through visits and hear your interviews coming out of stuff like that. But the recruiting process, so many people want to say, oh, it's just NIL. They just got outbid. That's the only. And there's so much more to recruiting, man. Relationships, the fan base, the atmosphere. Walk us through your process from the time you started getting some of your first phone calls, visits, different pitches you heard. Something we hear as Tennessee fans is the culture that Josh Heupel is creating at Tennessee. If you could say something to the fans, to the casual fan about recruiting, kind of walk us through some of that process.
So when I first started getting recruited, it was like small phone calls or coaches coming to the schools. I started picking up more of the coaches texting me like, "Hey, this is my number," via Twitter, and give me a call when you can. Let's talk this, that, and third. And as many visits as I've went on, I can't tell you how many visits I went on, but not a single time did I hear that the money pitch. It was never never got an NIL pitch. Never did. It was there was no money involved for me. When it came down to picking, I picked where I felt the most home at, where I felt the most, where I felt like I could grow the most, where could I have the most potential, where can I play, where do I see myself being, and me being from the East Coast. If y'all didn't know, I lived all over the East Coast for a while. It felt good to be back there, and it felt good to be closer to a lot of my family that lives over there. And I was at the end of it, I was like, it was for a while. It was stuck between me and Michigan, and me and Tennessee, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's locked into Michigan." I started getting crystal balls here, there, in the third. It means nothing. Crystal balls mean nothing. They do what they want to do. You put one word out about Michigan, post one thing about Michigan, you'll get a crystal ball. It's nothing. It has nothing to do with you. It's okay. Can I get this right? Can we get this right for the kid? And if y'all didn't notice, when everybody knew, they were like, okay, it's Tennessee. All the crystal balls from the Michigan guys flipped it over to a Tennessee one. It's just It was straight like that. They just wanted to make sure they get their little 2 cents in to make sure that they have their little crystal ball right. But there was nothing to do with that. It was a true decision picked by me and my family, and they said, son, that's what you want to do. You do it. We'll support you 100%. It was straight like that.
I love it. I love it. I mean, we both love it, Coach Jay.
Yeah, I know that.
I mean, it's just, we track recruiting, we follow it. It's fun, man. It's fun. But again, at the end of the day, you're trying to make the best decision for you, for your family, right? Your future's on the line. We as Tennessee fans, we just want everybody to come to Tennessee. But I remember following your recruitment, and you were kind of like, you came out of left field, and it was like, man, this guy's going to end up in Michigan. And we're like, hold on a second. Like, we're looking at this class of 24, and we're talking about Gage Ginther, a guy that jumped in the boat early. And, a lot of people talk about Gage and his game, and he's underrated, and he's a great tackle body. And then you added a couple of dudes, like legitimate dudes on the inside with Satterwhite, Max Anderson. And we're starting to build this offensive line, and we're getting excited about it, but we need that dude. We need that dog. And then here comes Bennett Warren out of left field, and there's a little buzz, and then you start coming on campus. Then you commit, and I feel like, man, you were the cherry on top for what me and Coach Jay were talking right before we went live. There's so much athleticism in this class. Everybody's talking about Boo, and we love us some Boo Carter around here, if you didn't realize it. We're talking about Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, Jake Merklinger, man. We love that dude. There are so many guys in this class that I love, but I will take it all the way to the end. I think this is the offensive line is the strength of this class. What do you think about the guys in your group, the guys like William Satterwhite, Max Anderson, Gage Ginther, Jesse Perry? What do you think about this group? And, you're the future, man. We're excited about you guys.
Man, I love each and every one of the guys. We're so, connected together. We talk to each other all the time. I've known Max for a pretty long time. He's been to a lot of my recruiting visits. So. We've known each other for a while. When he committed, I was like, "Ooh, there must be something. There must be something there that makes him want to go there." And I talked to Max about it. They got me down there for a visit. I really enjoyed it. I was like, "That's." Then I met all the guys. I met Sat on my first official there. I met Sat. I met who else did I meet there? I think Jesse was there. Gage was there. I met Gage there. It was what's it called? It was a super fun time. Like, they're a great group of guys. I think each and every one of them is going to be amazing, if not better than most. But I think that we could all end up where we want to be with this. And I think that as long as time grows and as long as we have Coach Ellerby and Coach Heupel, we're going to do some special things.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And Bennett, why we've been clearing some recruiting stuff up? Maybe you can lend a hand with this one too. A lot's been made about Tennessee recruiting offensive linemen, and maybe certain offensive linemen don't want to come here because of how up tempo this offense is and how fast you've got to get on the ball. Do you think there's any smoke to that fire? Like, is that something you take into account? Like, man, I'm going to have to be sprinting all over the field. I don't want to look bad when a D lineman sprints off, or you think there's nothing really to that, and you're excited to play in the up tempo offense?
I'm pretty excited to play an up tempo because the year before, or my year before, we were an up tempo team. We were air raid all the way, take it down the field. All right, because we had some pretty good receivers on our end. Two of them, one of them went to UConn. We played against him. He played kick returner for us. Or he played kick returner for UConn, and we played when y'all played against him. We had a great QB. He's ripping it, 30-yard pump. Right, sprint down there. He rips it again, 10 yards, sprint up there. We're not taking no time. So I would say I'm accustomed to the fast motion type of tempo, but I know college is going to be a whole different level. But I'm not very scared of it per se. I feel like I fit in at some point, and I'm working on cardio and keeping my my tempo up now, up tempo in the workouts, making them a little bit more catered to not having as much downtime, to be prepared to be exhausted while working out. And I think I'm going to have no problems with it. I see no problems so far.
We got 500 people hanging out with us live right now. We appreciate you guys tuning in to hang out with us and Bennett Warren here, talking a little Tennessee football. Do us a favor, guys. Smash the thumbs up, share out the link, let people know we are live. We would greatly appreciate that. Let me catch up on a couple of super chats. Wade drops a 20 spot. The color is orange. We got a thing we got to do around here, and that's play the clip. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Wade says, welcome, Bennett Warren. It's great to have you, man, and loved your tweet at Colorado. Everybody dug that. Says, you're the man. Can't wait to see you in Neyland protecting Nico. GBO. Appreciate that, Wade. Bleed Orange drops Orange Boy. I'll play it all day long. I never get tired of hearing Pat McAfee sing this song.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Bleed Orange for 20. That ain't cheap. We appreciate it. Welcome, Bennett. Can't wait to watch you destroy D lineman. What's up, Boogie and Coach J? The J stands for jacket. GBO. Thank you, Bleed Orange. Very generous super chat, my man. Samuel Reiner, Custom Knives, been a member of the Talkin VAWLS Network for 20 months. Ask you, Bennett, did Darnell Wright affect your decision in any way?
That's a very good question. Man, I loved watching Darnell Wright. I'm not going to lie. He was amazing to watch. Some of the things I've seen him do, like I tried at my level and it worked. I think he had some serious tricks up his sleeve when he played against people like Will Anderson and a couple of those other guys. I think he was a really special tackle. And I think it did play a little role in seeing that definitely if Coach Ellerby can make that guy what he came out to be, that he could probably do the same with me. So I'd say there was just maybe a little bit in there.
I'm ready to throw a curveball at you. You know, we ask you all the generic questions, recruiting, football, protecting Nico. Let's have some fun. Let's talk real life, man. It's one of my favorite things to do when I get some of you guys, the players on here. Let you have a voice. Talk about something other than football. Sometimes it goes great. Sometimes Braylon Staley mentions his girlfriend, and then I rip him for the next 3 minutes. Some people like Jamal Wallace just like to watch film and YouTube videos of defensive ends. Some people are boring. What is Bennett? What does a day with Bennett Warren look like? Are you a gamer? Are you into TV, movies? What is it? What do you do outside, away from football?
My days usually start with, I usually wake up around like 7-ish. I get my workouts during this whole winter break thing has been like 10 in the morning-ish. So I get up, I go work out, come home, get a little something to eat, and I run. I wouldn't say it's like a large business, but outside of football, I do a car detailing. I have all the necessary equipment to do so. What's it called? I was actually coming back from detailing a car. That's why I was late. This time zone had me messed up, but I was detailing, and I can make like 1,000 a good day if I find the right people and stuff like that. And outside of that, that's a big thing. I'm big into cars. I love cars. I drive a 2020 Scat Pack myself, and I'm on a mission to mod it and make it one of the fastest. It's already like getting close to being one of the loudest for now, but outside of football, that's my thing. I'm a decent gamer. If you can tell, this is a whole setup. I got a really great camera. There's a mic here. There's a double monitors actually. PC whole setup. Yeah.
You hear that, Boogie? When the new college football game comes out, he's coming for you.
Jamal Wallace is already he's gonna embarrass me on Madden, and Bennett's gonna embarrass me on the EA Sports College Football. So do you have do you stream? Like I've got your Twitter and I've got your Instagram linked in the description below. I want people to go follow you, show you some love. Are you a streamer? Are you into that? Can people come support that?
Nah, I'm no streamer. When I was little, I thought about it. When I was in like 8th grade and stuff, when I got into this, I thought about doing the whole streamer thing, but I was like, nah. But I think if I were able to do it, I think I'd be pretty good at streaming. I've definitely, like, when it comes down to playing games, I've definitely taken down a couple streamers. But yeah, I think it'd be something I'd do, but it's not something I'm gonna do for now, especially now when I'm moving out soon and I have all this stuff to take with me. So
yeah.
What Jason says? What games you play?
Call of Duty. Fortnite is one of them, and a whole bunch of other like games on the PC. If you play it, I probably play it. But yeah,
is it all PC? Is it all PC? Or you rock it? It's all PC.
Yeah, it's all PC. I gave up the PS4. It was just it couldn't kick no more. It couldn't kick no more.
Beat it to death.
Yeah,
awesome.
I want to drag you through the mud. I want to talk more about gaming. I want to talk the guy that's going to protect Nico into spending too much time playing video games. I want you to be a gamer, man. Like I think it's a great way to connect. But again, I understand, man. I get it. It is a commitment. You got the setup though, man. You got the light. You got to have the lighting. You got to have the setup, the monitors, all that type of stuff. So Madden. If you're playing Madden, who you playing with? Who's your team? You're in Texas, but you said you grew up on the East Coast. So,
when I was growing up, I was a big fan of the Panthers. Cam Newton was there; he was amazing, and I didn't live too far away. I got the chance to visit and like walk around the stadium, which was really cool to me. That was a big one growing up. But if I had to play Madden now, it'd definitely be the Bengals. I love Joe Burrow, and I was a big fan of Andy Dalton at the time. So if there's anybody I'd play you against in Madden, it'd probably be the Bengals.
Absolutely, very cool. So look,
this is they blame me. This is a Talkin VAWLS thing.
I read it at the same time.
Anything goes bad, they blame me, and that's okay. I'm here for it. I'll be in the chat watching you game on the national championship.
Awesome stuff. All right, guys. I'll get it back to football just real fast for you. You prefer pass protection or run blocking, Bennett?
Pass protection is something I'd say it's my better point. So I think I prefer pass blocking.
There you go. All right, Boogie. Now you can talk about what kind.
I was gonna say that's what you're gonna leave it at. You're like, hey, you want to pass, bro? And it's like, yeah, let's talk about video games. I want to talk about food, actually. Yeah, screw football. Let's talk about Bennett Warren the person. Let's talk
barbecue, man.
I was telling Coach, I was like, we got to drag him through the mud, whether it's gaming, movies, TV, something. And I was like, everybody likes food. Like, what's your go-to food, man? You look, you're an offensive lineman. You got to like to eat. You have to.
I do. I don't know. I guess today was barbecue. I ate barbecue today, but if I had to go for anything, I'd go for like salmon. I love salmon. I love cooking myself, actually. I'm pretty good at cooking for myself.
Let's talk about that. Are you a Food
Network
Network
on
guy?
MasterChef.
Yeah, you a Food Network guy?
Yeah. I don't mind Food Network when I watch TV. I don't watch TV a lot, but I've definitely watched Food Network. I watch those baking shows and the cooking shows. I like all the Food Network shows, to be honest.
There you go, ladies. He can fix your car, he can cook for you, and he can protect a quarterback.
Sign
him up. There you go.
Like me and my wife are backwards. Like she'll be outside mowing the yard, and I'm inside cooking dinner. I love to cook too, man. I love to be in the look. My youngest daughter got me a spice rack for Christmas. Like that's the world that I'm living. So I love to cook too. If you're gonna cook, what are you gonna cook? You mentioned you like salmon. What are some of your go-to meals that you cook up?
I make a lot of salmon when I cook. I'm pretty good at making salmon. I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of fishes. I'm a big fan of chicken. I'm pretty good at making pastas and stuff like that. Also breakfast foods. So yeah, I would do that a lot. Usually cook for myself, stuff like that.
If you're cooking pasta, you going homemade pasta or box pasta?
I don't usually have time to make homemade pasta. I think I've made it once in my life, so it's usually the box stuff.
I wonder if it's worth it. Like I've never done it.
It is. It is.
It cooks faster too.
It cooks faster. It tastes fresher. It's less of that. It's less chewy because you're cooking it at your pace, not at the pace the box tells you. So it's like it comes out really smooth. And if you're like, they tell you to put oil on the noodles afterwards and stuff like that. It's like a completely different texture almost.
But you've only done it once, so. Is it really worth it, Bennett, if you've only done it once?
It is, but I'm like, I don't have time for it. But if you have the time to make it, do it 100%.
Let me get a couple more of these real quick. Buck's been a member for 12 months. Says, who has become your best friend in this recruiting class or current players?
Ooh. Okay, I got a couple friends here. Max Anderson's definitely one of them. I love playing with Max. He's goofy. Boo Carter. I see Boo, man. When I was going through recruiting, I see Boo everywhere I go. I'm hearing about Boo. When I went up to Michigan a couple times, Boo was there every time. Boo was.
Well, when you went to Michigan and Boo was there, was Boo talking Tennessee? You don't have to answer that. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Boo had me hurt his last visit. I was there. Boo was like, "Come on, bro." I was like. That was one of them. And then for the players, I'd say Bison Lang. He's one of the linemen. Bison's cool. Pretty cool with Bison.
Yeah. Got a $5 super chat from Max. Says, Bennett, what's your favorite restaurant? If it's not IHOP, because of all the pancakes, I'm disappointed. I don't know. The Waffle House is probably the one too.
Nah, I'll leave Waffle House to John Campbell. I'm not messing with that. But bro, my favorite restaurant, I don't know if it's all over the world, but they're all over the country, but there's a place here called Japaneros, and they serve Mexican food and Japanese food, and I'm a big fan of sushi. I actually know how to make sushi. I learned that like a couple weeks ago. So I'm a big fan of sushi, and I'm also a really big fan of Mexican food. So that was one of my favorite restaurants.
I'm surprised you don't live out here in California liking sushi and Mexican food, man. This is like this. I'm out here in the Mecca. But if you do like barbecue, check out Sweet Peas when you're in Knoxville, man. That place is fire. A little more undercover than Calhoun's, but definitely check that spot out when you're in town.
It's your turn, Coach. I've talked about food and gaming, and you want to talk about football, so it's your turn.
Well, I'm talking about Sweet Peas at the moment, man. But you know what? You know what I always like to ask kids? It's like, so do you have any interesting like pre-game rituals when you get ready? Is there a certain mixtape you like to throw on? Like, did you create that? Is there an album you go to? Are you more kind of like the quiet, take a nap type of guy and just chill and be in your own space? Are you like fired up running through brick walls, breaking windshields with your head? What's Bennett Warren like before a football game?
Before, let's say like hour or two. So usually an hour before, or an hour and a half before, I go warm up before the warm ups. I go through I go through the actual tackle motion. So I get a normal warm up in. I warm my hips up, and then I go to what's it called? Coming out of my stance off a knee and stuff like that. I sit out there. I get a couple pass reps in. I go quick set, vertical set, and regular sets. And I do that. I go back inside. I throw my headphones on, and at that point I'm like wired up. I'm like jamming out. One of the big things for me so far has been I take the American flag and I run it down the field. That was one of my things that I did here. Run it down the field. But yeah, like usually I'm mellowed out before the game. I get something to eat. I'm chilling. I'm like I might take a nap or go like we had like a dark room. We just turn the lights off, and every kid could go in there and like chill out. So that's what I usually did. I ate in there, and then that hour and a half, I'm getting turned up. By the time we walk out, I look like terrifying. And every game, I always have a ski mask on. It's non-negotiable for me to wear a ski mask under my helmet because it made me look menacing, and I enjoyed every second of it.
That's a little dog. You got a little dog in you.
Yeah, you're going to steal their
little serial killer vibes, but
hearts, man.
I mean,
I'm here for it.
I'll allow
Coach K
it.
likes it, man. I'll take all the ski masks on my team I can get, man.
Yeah, I'll allow a little crazy. Cody Newberry becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that, Cody. Thank you for the support. Evan counts for 20. That's Orange Boy. We got to do it. I'll play the clip all night long. Where I lost it. There it is. We'll play it.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
This guy's going to be on the back of the Jumbotron in 20 years. Love Bennett. Can't wait to watch him. His chill is going to be hot. His chili, I can't read. There are no good Georgia fans. Give him some spicy mustard. Am I right? Dude, thank you, Evan, for the super chat. This is what it's all about, man. I love getting you guys on here and letting you guys have a voice, letting Vol Nation look, you guys are legends. You know what I mean? Like, me and Coach Jay old. We 42 years old, and we are already excited about you. You guys, when you put that power tee on, when you put that orange jersey on, when you put that dark mode jersey on, we are pulling for you. Let me ask you that, and we're going to get you out the door here in just a second. Dark mode. Something that I wanted to bring up, your visit. You visited for the South Carolina game, dark mode, night game. What do recruits think? Every picture that I found of you is in dark mode. And I'm an old man, but guess what? I still like to play some NCAA 14 revamped, and I'm going to roll out Smoky Grays. I'm going to roll out dark mode. I love alternate unis. What do you guys think? What do the recruits think? What do the commits think about the alternate uniforms? You like them. You got to like them.
That dark mode and the smoky gray are the two coolest uniforms I've ever seen. I love that. That dark mode uniform is going to be my favorite. If I get the chance to put that uniform on, I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be ecstatic on the field. You ever see how Sproggins is like jumping and banging his head down the field? That's going to be me.
And it works perfectly with the ski mask.
Yeah.
Perfectly with the ski mask, man. That dark mode is going to be fire with that ski mask on. Awesome,
you can go murder somebody and then come play a football game later that night. It's perfectly fine. It's going to be awesome.
Murder a D-tackle. It's all good.
Man, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you jumping on. The chat's trying to recruit you to get Boo Carter on the show. I'm not asking. Wink, wink. I'm not asking. Hey, man, this show is all about you. I said it multiple times. I felt like you were the cherry on top of this offensive line class. I'm excited about this offensive class. I'm excited about your future at Tennessee. I appreciate you taking time to jump on and talk. This channel is fans. That's it. It started. We've been doing this thing for 8 years. We did it for 6 years for free. Now I've been able to make it a career. Like that's how strong this fan base is. So, man, I'm excited to see you play on Rocky Top. I'm excited about your future. And I said this to Jamal last week when he came on. I'm going to say it to you. If you ever need anything, man, if there's anything we can do for you to help you, to assist you, if 2 years from now you're entering the portal and you need something from me, I'm here for you, bro. Reach out. You're following me on Twitter. Connect. If you need anything, let us know. We are behind you. We are supporting you. The floor is yours. I've got your Twitter, your Instagram in the description below. If you got any plugs, shills, anything you want to do, or if you just want to speak directly to Vol Nation, the floor is yours, Warren.
I mean, that's it, man. You supporting. I love being a part of this. I can't wait to be there. I really wish I was an early enrollee because I'd love to be down there right now. I'm absolutely ecstatic to come play for Tennessee. All 100% of the way. Ain't no switch from me. I already signed too, so I can't hear anything else from anybody.
One last question. Jenny drops $2 and says, "When did you know UT was the place for you?" This is how we'll wrap it up.
I took the last visit there, and I took a month. I told myself I'd take a month before I made any quick decisions or hasty decisions based on being in my last place. And I took just a month to sit there, and I prayed, and I talked with my family a lot. I talked with coaches from multiple schools, and I was like, at the end of 2 weeks beforehand, I was hard set on it. I was like, yeah, this is the one. just praying about it. I was 100% like this is where I need to be. There's nowhere else for me right now, or nowhere for me at all. And that's why I knew it was done deal. I was already texting Hayes Fawcett, getting ready for an edit by that time.
That dude, what a place he has created for himself. That dude is the GOAT. He is such.
Yeah.
I love that story, man. A guy that just started creating graphics. It blew up. It's grown. It's turned into a career for him. I love that type of story. Good old Nate Pruitt for 2 says Benny has the Jets. Can't wait, Bennett. We appreciate your time, brother. I'm glad you jumped on, hung out with us, talked a little Tennessee football. Like I said, if you need something, reach out to me, shoot me a DM. We're behind you. We're supporting you. Maybe we can catch up down the road a little bit, but thanks for coming on, buddy.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, have a good night, brother.
Sir. Awesome.
All right, we are going to keep this thing rolling right along. Man, that was fun. That was a fun one. Little personality, little foodie. I told you food would be the common denominator.
It bonds us all together, man.
It does.
That's
Food,
good stuff right there.
Everybody loves food. I love watching the chat, too. Evan Counts for 5 says, man, I love Bennett. You can feel the family. Like, you could feel it with Jamal, too, right? Talking about culture and the fit. And it's like, somebody made the comment, man, Josh Heupel's recruiting well-spoken, good men. And
yeah,
like,
you know, go ahead.
No, go.
No, I was just going to say, like, you know, everyone talks culture and preaches, you know, I'm going to run a clean program. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Talk is cheap, man. Look at what Josh has done. It's pretty obvious. I mean, I wrote in big letters, no NIL pitch is what he said he got. No NIL pitch. They sold him on family, on what they could offer him, what they could bring to him as coaches, what the system brings to him. You know, and that football is family. It's the strongest thing. And we've heard old players for Heupel and other players say it as well, that you just want to play your tail off for Josh, man, because he makes you care about him and you love him. And I've preached it on this channel left and right. The strongest thing I've ever seen on football field is players who don't want to let the player next to them down and don't want to let their coach down, that genuinely care about their family that is around him. And you can feel that bleed through with Bennett. And it gets me excited. It might hurt, you know, when we don't get that Juice Wells athlete to come in, right? You might not get that shiny, flashy thing, but guess what? That shiny, flashy thing is going to be gone in a second. It has no true depth in substance. You know, we need to mix that great culture with great talent and focused talent on the vision that Coach Josh Heupel is building at Tennessee, and I believe that's what he's doing. And I'm excited, man. I'm pumped up about it.
All right, I'm going to make one last comment about these player interviews, and we're going to open up the door, and we're going to let these cats in here. We're going to talk some bowl game action. I'm excited about it, but, hey, man, I want to thank you guys. We still have 456 people watching. Thank you. You guys give us the power. You give us the leverage. When these kids, when these players see, oh, the Talkin VAWLS Network, what's that? Oh, they have more subscribers than VolQuest. They have more subscribers than GoVols 247. They have more subscribers than any other, you know, Tennessee YouTube channel. I'll go on and hang out with them. And then you go to Twitter and you say, hey, Bennett Warren, why don't you come on and talk to Boogie and Coach Jay? Hey, Jamal Wallace, come on and talk to the Talkin VAWLS Network. Hey, Boo Carter. Hey, Braylon Staley. Hey, whoever. Man, you guys make it happen. So first and foremost, thank you. Now who's next? I told Coach Jay I got one in my back pocket, and I'm going to pull it out soon. The guys at bowl practice right now. So we're going to have to wait.
It's going to be a good one.
Who do you guys want next? Go get them on Twitter. Go tag them up. Go say, hey, we want Boo Carter. Don't let it go. Keep saying, Boo, we want you. We want you to come hang out on the Talkin VAWLS Network. We will make it happen. It's you guys, man. I say it all the time. It ain't me. It ain't Coach Jay. It ain't Coach Rice, Dauber, the X Factor. It ain't any of us. It's you guys. You guys make this channel what it is. Let's open it up. Let's turn this thing into a party. I am sorry, Coach Rice, X Factor, Dauber. I apologize for making you guys wait.
No, listen, that was some good stuff from the young man. Yeah, I said, hey, humble kid, man. The future's going to be bright. I'm so excited for that young man. Very good stuff.
What do y'all think? Can we go the close-up? I think the close-up looks better when we have 5 people. Y'all agree? I mean, especially Dauber. Look, it zooms right in on him, perfectly
Nice.
background, everything. Yeah, Coach Jay's a little off center, but we're good to go, man. A little bit of news came out today, boys, and we're going to talk about it right out of the gate. Let's go ahead and share it up. Let's share up this Instagram post. Coach Rice, I'm going to give Coach Rice credit. He broke the news live right here on the Talkin VAWLS network last night. But look, we'll regurgitate some of the stuff we talked about last night because there was like 100 and some people in the chat, and then we privated the stream. We knew this was coming last night, but Joe Milton opts out of the bowl game. I'll read his words. He posted this on Instagram earlier this morning. First, I want to thank God for blessing me with the talent and ability to play this game we love so much throughout my years here at Tennessee. I've learned a lot. Becoming a man was the best part. Every day, again, that speaks to culture, man. Talks about becoming a man. It says every day came down to giving my all for Tennessee. Grinding day in, day out with my brothers was OD lit. I don't think I've ever said those words before. I love y'all boys, Maine. I don't know if I've ever said that. I'll always have y'all boys back no matter what, and I look forward to supporting y'all all week here in Orlando. That's something that stands out to me. He's still in meetings. He's still at practice. He's going to be on the sidelines. He's opting out, still supporting his brothers. To all my coaches, thanks for helping me become a better player every day. And to Coach Hype, Coach Halsley, Coach Mitch, thank you for helping me become an even better man. Respect. Playing inside Club Neyland was amazing. The energy, the noise, especially running through the tee. Going to miss it all. Playing in the NFL has always been my dream since I was 4 years old. Now it's time to turn those dreams into a reality as I begin preparing for the 2024 NFL Draft. Thanks, Vol Nation, for everything. JoJo out. Let's start with some Joe Milton appreciation X Factor. This is a guy that chose Tennessee not once but twice. He chose to come back. We didn't always go the way we wanted, but Joe Milton's a ball for life.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like what we all said even in one of the previous shows is, VFL for life. Even though that, we didn't really expect, 23 to kind of go the year like it was in 2022. But, you got to root for Joe, man. You got to, salute to the kid. Best wishes to him, going off into the league. And like I said, I got nothing but love and respect for Joe. And even from day one, I was rooting for Joe. I mean, yes, there were some games that he was, aggravating me. And, there was some kind of questionable, football game-making decisions he was making that kind of had you yelling at your TV, about to rip it off the wall, throw it out in the yard somewhere. But at the end of the season, though, he is a ball for life because I respect him staying at Tennessee when he could have just entered the portal, went somewhere else. So my best wishes to Joe, and like I said, the best luck to him for his future.
I try to be so patient.
I've been talking all night. One of you guys talk. Robert, no, we haven't heard from you.
And I didn't want everybody to go at once, and then nobody was going. So,
all right,
man, good stuff with Bennett Warren. What a great young kid. The epitome of the type of young man you want to see coming to the University of Tennessee. One thing that stuck out to me about him, and then I'll give my Joe Milton spiel. When he was talking about his high school coach and talking about, hey, he told me I need to do this. I need to do this. And he said, I can make you one of the best tackles in your class. And he did it. And the kid seems very coachable. And that is something I know you guys, Coach Jay, Coach Rice, you probably like those kids more than a kid that comes in with all the talent in the world. The guys that are receptive and, just very well-spoken, smart, and X said humble. So, just super excited to see this young man get to Knoxville and, strap on the pads and get going. Joe Milton, Boogie, you nailed it. He chose Tennessee twice. Could have tucked tail and ran, transferred somewhere else. I think things would have been a lot easier for him, but he stuck it out, went to work every day. If those frustrating moments weren't there, the talent is definitely there. And I can see him making waves at the next level. His athleticism, his frame, if he gets in the right system, I mean, look back at recent history. Look at Tom Brady. He didn't tear it up in the NFL or in college, and then got in the right system and just owned it. So I appreciate Joe and what he did. The coaches went with him for a reason, and I think it did come down to some leadership, and he definitely has those qualities and characteristics. And he seems like a great individual too. And that's, we talk about culture and the guys that Heupel and staff are bringing into the university. And that's the type of people you want representing the orange and white. So like X, I appreciate Joe and what he did. I hate that he got thrown under the bus a lot for things that didn't, pan out in the fans' eyes. But, I mean, you can't scoff at the record. He did what he had to do and won some games for us. And to me, that he's a VFL and he always will be.
Oh yeah, I mean I agree. Joe Milton is without a doubt a VFL through all the things he's dealt with throughout his career here at Tennessee. The ups and downs, being named the starter out the gates when he got here, to losing the job, to having to sit on the bench for a year and a half, and then sticking with it and showing his loyalty. A lot of it had to do with his friendship with Hendon Hooker. We know that was a lot to do with it, but I think at the end of the day, it made both of them better quarterbacks. And Joe Milton, I mean, what can you ask more of a dude as far as loyalty and pride and showing love for a program than what Joe Milton did? And he didn't have a bad character. He said all the right things in the interviews. Did what he was supposed to do in practice. What are the results? What us as Tennessee fans desired? No, but hey, you could not question as far as the effort goes. He was some of his decision-making things as far as in-game goes questionable, yeah, but you never did doubt his effort. And so as a Vol fan and a coach, you love to see it. And without a doubt, he has my respect, and us that should have every Tennessee fan's respect for what he did for the University of Tennessee.
So on the flip side of that, Joe opts out. Joe's a VFL. I love that Joe's supporting the team at the bowl practices. Right, that's what excites me. And I made the video. I'm dying. I still have COVID 3 weeks later. I'm still dying and can't. Still can't talk, still can't do a live stream without coughing to death. Something I mentioned in the video I made yesterday, I was speculating. Like nothing had come out, and I'm saying there's some smoke here. There is some smoke here that makes me think that Joe is opting out, right? It's typically you get the announcement, and it's just sitting there, and it's lurking, and we're waiting. It's gamesmanship from Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel knew. They've known for a while that it was Nico's time, but it's the gamesmanship. It's the competitive fire in Josh Heupel. Give me every advantage possible. So the flip side of Joe opting out is the Nico era starts now. It's been going on for a couple of weeks. January 1st, Citrus Bowl, Tennessee, Iowa. Nico's first start. I don't know if anybody on the planet that doesn't have the last name Iamaleava was more excited than this dude right over here. So, Coach Jay, when you saw the news, when you knew it was Nico's time, any concerns? Anything that you're worried about? Or are you just like, it's go time, man? Nico's going to show you guys what I've been talking about for months.
Yeah, no, man, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I really am. I meant it when I said I felt like Christmas came early, and I was itching all year for him to get in. And, when he did get in, I felt like he, showed you that little glimpse of what he was about to go out there and do, right? We all kind of saw it. It was an extremely limited mop-up duty, right? But we'll make no bones about it here. This is a true test against a very stout, tough defense that can put you in very bad field position, right? Punter, I believe, won the Maxwell, right, for the best punter in the nation. a kid that's consistently been able to pin you. So Nico's going to have to go out there and earn it, right? And are you going to see moments in the game, where he's nervous or still putting things together? Yeah, sure, right? He's human. But I'm only nervous because I know what he's going to go out there and do. I know he's going to go out there and surprise some people and make the odds makers who dropped that spread by 2 points when the announcement came out look a little foolish. Because spoiler alert, guys, go put a couple bucks on the Vols on the spread. Nico going to cover that 6.5 number it's dropped down to. I think he's going to be special out there. I think once he settles into that game, he's going to go out there, land one on the chin, put him on the mat, throw him in a chokehold, and get old Iowa to tap out of that game nice and quick like. So, no, all excited here. Nothing but good, excited, nervous energy out of Coach Jay.
We talked about this a little bit last night, the impromptu call to arms, the emergency live stream in the middle of an NCAA stream. Y'all are in the chat. I'm like, hey, man, the news is out. Jump on here. Let's talk about it. But Coach Rice, let's regurgitate some of it. Nico's been practicing. He's been taking all the reps. They've already confirmed that. The majority of the reps as QB1. Is the game plan going to look a little different against Iowa?
I think the base of it will look primarily the same, but there's going to be bits and pieces to what they know is Joe's strengths that we haven't seen all year. Now, I'm not saying the whole game plan, but I'm saying bits and pieces that we know, because Nico's obviously a different quarterback than Joe is, and he has different strengths. And any good offensive coordinator, any good head coach wants to, show those strengths off in your game plan and make sure that's how you're making sure your quarterback is being successful. And so will it be completely different? No, but it will have some bits and pieces that we haven't seen all year. And I think that has a lot to do with the different players we're going to be seeing at running back. Of course, we've seen Dylan Sampson all year. We will get to see a lot of Cam Selden and the wide receivers. What type of chemistry? I think we'll even see some Ethan Davis a little bit here and there. So I think it don't matter because it don't do on the red shirt. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be a little different, but not much. But working on strengths.
Yeah, I think, like I said, we're going to see kind of like the same identity that we've been all year. We're definitely going to run the football, most definitely. See, like since have that Dylan Sampson and Cam Selden 1-2 punch, see what that's going to look like going into next year. And then as far as like saying our wide receivers go, like definitely can't wait to see that Chaz Nimrod, Caleb Webb, and definitely Squirrel out there. We're definitely going to see Nico run with those guys, see how it looks. But yeah, Coach, I agree with that too. Like I think our identity is going to kind of look the same just a little bit, but as far as like explosive plays like down the field, now that that Nico is starting and I'm pretty sure he's accurate with the football down the field, I'm pretty sure we're going to go back to seeing more of those explosive plays down the field like when Hendo Cinco was QB1.
He brought up an interesting point that I want to throw at you, Dauber, is, I have no doubts about Dylan Sampson, Cam Selden running the football. No doubts. They're athletic. They got speed. They're going to make plays. Are you concerned about pass protection from the running back position without Jalen Wright and Jabari Small?
I mean, potentially, but not. We've not seen a lot of Selden back there, basically because he, had 3 guys in front of him. But I think you will be lacking a little bit at that position as far as protecting the quarterback. However, I think Nico is a different type of quarterback in the pocket, and I'll tag on to Coach Rice. With what he was talking about, game plan. I think it is going to be a different game plan because it's a different quarterback. If you go back to the 2022 season, the offense looked completely different for Hooker than it did in 2023 for Joe Milton. And I think that's because it was geared for those particular quarterbacks. And I think that's the beauty of having bowl practice. And I think going into bowl practice, I think they kind of knew, and Joe probably talked with them and said, hey, this is certainly a possibility. And they said, okay, well, what we want to do is kind of keep it close to the vest and under wraps. And they've been working with Nico, and they've been installing things that are particularly designed for him. And we'll showcase his skill set and his talents and, lead to successes on the field. That's the one thing about Coach Heupel's offensive scheme. I think it's not necessarily the speed. It's not necessarily the tempo. It's the spacing, and it's setting you up a couple plays down the line, setting you up in the third quarter. They've ran, 3 plays that look the same. And then they're running something off of that play that sets you up to bite on, and then you're burnt. So I think, man, it's, we talk about it all the time. It's chess versus checkers. And that is what Coach Heupel is doing. He's designing stuff that takes the skill sets for whoever he's got out there, for the quarterback, for the running backs, for the wide receivers, and using, their talents and ability, athletic ability, to isolate and expose weak points in the defense. So, I do think you're completely right. You can't instill a whole offense in 2.5 weeks of practice, but at the same time, it's not like Nico's not been practicing all year. The base is going to look the same, but they're going to throw stuff in that is particularly designed for him. And, some of these other guys that are stepping up and filling in spots for other guys that have opted out, it is what it is. And I don't know if we'll get into this later on. I know we've already been on for a while because of Bennett earlier, but man, I just don't know what to think anymore. The whole landscape of college football, opting out, the NIL transfer portal, it just, to me, it seems a little deflating. It's not even the team that played this whole season that's going to be playing in the bowl game.
That's a perfect lead for where I wanted to go next as we kind of jump into the bowl game and talk about it. This is from Rivals. They have a list of Tennessee and also Iowa, and we can go down and look at Iowa too as we kind of go into our predictions. It is a different game, Dauber. The game has changed, right? So these are players that are either opting out, they're transferring, or they are injured going into the bowl game. Tyler Barron, some people want to hate on him. They want to say, he's not that good. Well, that's funny because he was the second leading guy on this team in sacks. He was like 8th in the SEC in sacks. He's a gamer. He's a baller. He's gone. Addison Nichols transfers to Arkansas. Jack Luttrell transfers to Arizona. Tamarian McDonald, that's a guy that contributed to this football team. He transferred to Ole Miss. Brandon Turnage in the portal. Warren Burrell transferring to Georgia Tech. Danico Slaughter transferring to Arkansas. Mo Clipper. It goes on and on and on. And then you can see the guys that are injured there at the bottom. But your 2 starting running backs, Jalen Wright opting out to go to the draft. Jabari Small opting out. Is he going to the draft? I don't know. All signs indicate he's probably not entering the portal, probably entering the draft. I got crucified last year when I talked about Jalen Hyatt opting out. All of us are almost the same age. I don't know, X is a little younger. Maybe he doesn't come from this generation where you finish what you started. If I signed up for a sporting event or whatever the case may be, I was told you're going to finish what you started. You're going to finish the season. I don't care if you hate it. You want to play a year of football? I don't care if you hate it. You're going to finish the season because you made a commitment to this football team. Baseball, same thing. You made a commitment. You're going to finish it. Coach Jay, what do you think about opt-outs? I get it, and people want to come at you and they want to say, "Oh, well, if you had millions of dollars on the line, what would you do?" I would finish it. I would finish what I started.
Yeah, I would finish it, and I mean, listen, until the league does something to, I don't want to say incentivize, but maybe a little bit of an incentive, but also, a little more structure to make these kids want to play. I do think expanding the playoff helps in that and creates, more kids that are going to want to stick around that can make some hay that way. I'd like to see, some draft stock start to be affected by that too. I know the NFL guys aren't necessarily going to do that. It's kind of a little bit of a pipe dream. But for me, I want a kid who's going to finish. And but then you also get someone like Joe. I mean, nothing he does can help him in that game. And everything that he could do helps Tennessee's future. So like for Joe, we talked about it last night a little. It was like every reason you could go down for Joe not to play that game, like should he or shouldn't he? Every single one of them, not named, just for loyalty and just because Joe's for Orlando. What was best for Tennessee and best for Joe, it was equal. It was better for his NFL career that he doesn't play, better for his draft stock that he didn't play, better for Tennessee that he didn't play, better for Nico. It's just better all around. So I totally get that. With all the change is hard, and it's going to take a little bit of time for the dust to settle, for the rules to settle in. Change is always hard, man. So I get that. And then again, with the COVID year too, it's like for Tennessee, I mean, how many of these kids would have just been gone anyways, right? And I get the opt out, but like, if they didn't have their COVID year, would Tyler Barron even be coming back, right? Like, and I know we got kids coming back too, so it's a two-way street. Once again, to go back to that culture aspect of this thing, it's why it is so important, and why I loved hearing it from Bennett Warren, because it might seem bad that we had all these transfers in the secondary guys, but once again, go to Florida, go to University of Southern California, go to a lot of these schools. It is every other player. And I do think that the culture being right at Tennessee is a huge reason why you're not only seeing a lot of these players come back along the offensive line, but it's a reason you're not seeing, Nathan Laycock get upset and take his ball and go home. That you're not seeing, one of these young linebackers. We were all convinced. I was yelling about it all offseason. One of these young linebackers is going to transfer as soon as it's open. None of them did. Not one of them. And we're really rich in young talent at that position. And I think that really speaks to the culture. And I think it's going to have extreme value for Tennessee moving forward.
We talk about, though, like Joe opting out. Well, because we've got Nico, right? Like, we're celebrating. Oh, thank you, Joe. You're a VFL. Appreciate your service, bro. Thank you. Move on. Go get ready for the NFL. I would much rather have Jalen Wright at the running back position than I would Dylan Sampson. And I get it. Everybody loves Dylan Sampson. I do, too. I'm excited for Dylan Sampson. But I would feel much more confident about this bowl game if you had Jalen Wright playing. What do you think, Coach Rice, about opt-outs in general?
In general, I mean, I don't like the people opting out just to improve their NFL stock or for things such as that. Injuries, I can understand. Having an injury and trying to rest an injury that way, if it's something that's nagging,
that's different. That's
different. That's something where you're just trying to get healthy for the NFL Combine. That's different. Now, someone that is perfectly healthy, has been a contributor to this team all year, being a star player like Jalen Wright, that is going to get drafted probably second or third round. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I understand it. I know it's two different. It's speaking out the side of my neck, but it's I
do it every day, brother. It's okay.
Yeah, I know.
But we all do it. We all do it.
Two things can be true. We say it all the time on this channel. Two things can be true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And I mean, I don't have no hate for any of them. It's just the way we've all grown up, we were told to finish what you started. I know my dad and my parents, especially my mom, would have whooped my ass if I even thought about quitting. Right at the end of the season. So, and that's just part of my coaching. I'll tell the kid, if you want to go on. I mean, I'm not going to sit around here and beg you to stay on the team. That's bad for culture. But it's just how I believe and how I think. And Coach Heupel's built and his culture is cemented into that program to where I don't think it's something major would have to happen for it to be shook. So that's a testament to Coach Heupel and his coaching staff to what it's the next man up. Hey, we got this. We'll be all right.
It goes back to the old program quote, right? Are you hurt or are you injured?
Yeah.
Well, if you're hurt, you can still play. If you're injured, you can't. And one of my favorite things with Coop last year in 2022 when he got banged up and he was limping, like he was hobbling to the ball, and people were like, "Oh, you're putting yourself above team." No, that's a dude that doesn't want to come out of the game. That is a guy that is committed. That's a dog. I need 22 of those guys out there where I don't care how hurt I am. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep playing. We talk about our generation and how we were raised and what we were told. My daughter, man, back when she was cheering in middle school at the time, and she was sick, and she's sitting on the sidelines, and I looked at my wife and I said, "What in the hell is she doing?" She said, "Well, she's sick, honey. She doesn't feel good." I said, "Well, then why are we here? Let's go to the house. If she's too sick to cheer, let's go to the house. Otherwise, get your butt out there with the rest of the girls and do what you came here to do." But that's how we were raised. That's how we were brought up. That's how we were taught. X, you're a little younger. How do you take it? If you had $1 million on the line and I said, "X, I need you to go out and play one last game," it doesn't really mean anything. You go say, "I'm good, Boogie. I'm going to take the money." Or are you going to finish what you started?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a hard decision to make, but I'm just like the rest of you guys. Like my family, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, they all taught me. They said no. They said, "X, you finish what you start." And that's just plain simple. And I'm the kind of guy, to me personally, that, yeah, I got to finish what I started. Because then if I don't finish it, I feel very just incomplete. It just doesn't feel right with me at all. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, we're talking on both sides of our neck here, and that's just the beauty of the argument, I guess, is that, okay, so if you do opt out and, you got the end of the league knocking and saying, hey, you can go first, second, or third round in the draft, then you're just sitting there thinking like, okay, well, I'll take my chances. But then at the same time, that if you go back and you play in this bowl game, and you want to finish your career out in Tennessee, and let's say if you have a career season injury going into, the draft, which, for example, was Hendon Hooker, which, thank God he's healthy now and he's getting ready to, start for the Lions. But it's kind of just that little example right there. It's like, well, dang, he could have went first, second, or third, but since he played in this bowl game and he got injured, now that hurt his draft stock a little bit. So he might go fourth, fifth in a round. You just never know. But no, I'm just the kind of guy that, I said, I got to finish what I started. If it was like millions of dollars on the line, like I know I'm going to get that once I get drafted to the league, but no, I want to finish where I started out with my guys and with my teammates. And it's just like even with me playing pickup ball, at the rec, I tell all my friends, hey, look, no blood, no foul. You know what I'm saying? You get slapped in the face, fall on the hard floor. It's like, hey, look, are you bleeding? You good? Like, no? Okay, cool. That was just a hard foul. Hey, good play. That's just how I am.
Keep your hands off me, X. If you touch me, it's a foul. That's the rules of basketball. So keep your hands off me and let me just drain threes in your face.
That's it. They're number little contact. I said, look, it's not this new era of basketball where it's soft. Nah, we're going back to the Jordan era. Like I said, look, with the bad boy Pistons.
No, stop touching me. That's a foul, X. That's a foul. But I think to tie a bow on it, it's like, Hendon Hooker got hurt in the South Carolina game. They still had the Vanderbilt game to play. They had a bowl game to play. Where do you draw the line? You got hurt in the South Carolina game. So do you opt out of the Vanderbilt game? Do you opt out of the South Carolina game? Do you opt out of the second half? Do you opt out of your entire senior season because I've got millions of dollars to make? Again, we are talking about it out of both sides of our mouth because it is an intriguing argument. Let me hit a couple of super chats. We're going to jump into some predictions. We're an hour and a half into this thing. Jenny for 2 says, how many of you on here are coming to Orlando? I saw some of you guys answering that in the chat. Man, the VolQuest crew last night. I'm on here playing video games. Texting Kaner. What's the scoop on Nico? They're in a car driving to Orlando.
But I will say, if you are going to the game down in Orlando, just to enjoy that little bit of history that you're going to see Nico on that field, because I promise you, me and Boogie saw it, in Neyland during that UConn game. I promise you, it's something special.
How much did that just ignite this bowl game? There's a whole lot more buzz around this bowl game, and I'm excited for it. Evan counts for 5. Because can only cash out your remaining NIL if you play the bowl game. I think that's a good point. Dauber mentioned NIL, transfer portal, all that type of stuff earlier when he jumped on. College football is going to have to change. The fact that the NCAA is approving this 2-time transfer stuff for 2024, that's a nightmare. That is so stupid. It's going to be for 1 year. You're going to have multi-year contracts moving forward. That's what this is going to be. You're going to have a salary cap, and you're going to have contracts. That's it.
Yep.
I think
it's going to be free agency.
I think all of this speaks to a different age and a different way of thinking. A lot of these kids grew up in the participation trophy era. It wasn't you win first and you go home with the championship. Everybody gets something for coming out and just playing and showing up. And not saying that's just the mentality of it, I think. And it's, let's include everybody. Let's all be. No, there are winners and there are losers. And that's I hope that I'm trying to teach my kids that about life, because that's real life. That's the real world. And, it's not all sunshine and rainbows and, all this. There are things that I have to do every day that I would rather not. I'd rather be on the golf course. Maybe
you should start a YouTube channel. You can play a lot of golf in the off season.
Talking golf.
But that's life. You have to do things you don't want to do. You push through and you try to make the best decisions you can. At the end of the day, it is a changing landscape. I do think the NCAA, like Boogie said, is going to have to come to terms with it and get a grip on it, because right now it is gaining traction, rolling downhill, and getting bigger. And it's going to get out of hand sooner rather than later, I think.
And a lot of people are fearing that college football is eventually going to turn into the NFL.
Well, it's already there. I mean, as
soon as you started paying players,
exactly.
And one thing, going back to what you're saying, Dauber, I keep hearing things and seeing, that these mega conferences like the SEC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12, that with all these teams, who's to say they ain't got to be in the NCAA,
right?
Especially the SEC. I've seen that in Big Ten. I see that a lot, saying that they would think about leaving the NCAA if they don't, money and everything doesn't, cooperate the right way. And I'm telling you, college football is on a path that us as college football fans do not like. Yes, there's a lot of, me, Boogie, and Dauber, Coach Jay, talk about the transfer portal day in and day out. And yes, we love that. But at the same time, that makes jobs on the head coaches and, the staff they have. It's year round. Not only are you trying to recruit the players out of high school, but you're recruiting the transfers and you're recruiting the people that's on your team that's committed to you. And if you ain't give them the money or the playing time, or someone said something wrong to you in this day and age, I'll hop in the portal.
Yeah, and I'm with Boogie. You've got to have some kind of contractual obligation to nip that in the butt.
Yep.
It's the only way it's going to solve it, because, look, unfortunately, for too long, everyone took a lot from these players and didn't give anything back, right? And for too long, they sat there and watched that. For too long, they, ended their college careers after being told they were the best there is, right? 80% of them, best player out of your community, best Pop Warner player ever. You're going to the NFL, and all you got out of it, if you were lucky, was a college degree, right? And yeah, they all should get it. They're paid for a scholarship, but let's be real, right? A lot of these kids are there to play ball, not to get an education. But for a long time, all they did was walk out of there concussed or with a bad knee or a bum ankle. And guess what? Newsflash, the same thing happened in the NFL. You know, how many players from the 80s and 90s are broke now with no insurance, no medical insurance? Go look that up. Like the NFL's NFL medical insurance program for aging players is terrible. There's been multiple lawsuits over it. So for a long time, we took and took and took and took and took and gave nothing back in return and didn't take care of these men. And guess what? Now they want theirs. Now guess what? The bill's due. Nothing in life is for free. And the bill's due, and it's time to pay it. I just think we need to do it in a way where it's controlled, and there can be some kind of loyalty around programs, and the players can still be paid and compensated for the great risk and effort that they put into the game that we all love.
That's the key, is some type of control, right? Regulation, rules. And I said this 2 years ago when they rolled all this out, 2-3 years ago, whenever it was. It's like you're making NIL legal and you're making the portal at the same time with no regulations. That is a disaster. And then we saw it. Your Biletnikoff Award winners going into the portal, and it's a bidding war. Who's going to pay me the most money? I think they're going to get it dialed in. I hope. They need to. They have to. Lee Honda Hill for 2 says, I'm 37. Unless you're injured, you finish the season. I think that needs to be something that is addressed too, whether it's written into your contract. If you're going to get paid, this is your salary. You're gonna pay X amount of games. If you're healthy, if you got a clear bill of health, you're going to play in the bowl game. That's part of it. Bowl games are meaningless. Then why are we playing them? Let's just get rid of them. Let's just play the playoff, and let's shut all this football down, because I love football, and I love watching bowl games. I've not watched a single one yet. That's
it's crazy. You look at Texas A&M. They're going to be playing. They're playing tonight. They're playing with 55 scholarship players. 55.
Wow.
If you don't think that's a health hazard, I mean, waiting to happen, playing with 55 scholarship players, and then on top of that, I think it's Florida State's down to, if they even play the game.
Right.
They're down to like 53, I think. It's unreal the effect this transfer portal is having, and these opt-outs. I can totally understand injuries. That's a thing of its own. But
like Tillman. Tillman was on his way back, and he opted out. And it's like, what makes perfect sense, because he's still hurt.
Yeah,
Right.
the opt-outs and the transfer portal. And there's some programs that are letting these guys that transfer still play in their bowl game. And then, like, I know Duke the other night, I think it was Duke, had several that were in the transfer portal they were still playing. And even they were still already committed to another team. But there's got to be some, hey, you can hop in the portal, but you got, like, in the language, you have to be available to play, or you can't, or the portal season's got to change. Like, it can't open until after the season's completely over.
Yeah, that I agree with.
That's not a bad
like
idea.
everyone's season.
You look at your retirement savings, your retirement package. You know,
I don't have that. I lost that.
If you go get into it before you're able to retire, you're penalized.
Yep.
You know, it's got to be. There are real world, real life solutions out there, and there are way smarter people than the five of us that could come up with something and figure this out. Because let me tell you, it's a mess right now, and I think it's only going to get worse if they're just allowed to kind of just keep skirting the rules and finding loopholes and, you know, stretching things out. And, you know, Coach Rice, you know that it is these student athletes, the NCAA is not looking out for their best health interests. Yeah. They're not protecting these young men who do go out and I know it's a game, but there are real life health potential. You know, you have guys that have been paralyzed. You've had guys die on the football field. So it is a violent game. It is a violent sport. And there are risks that each of them accept and take every time they step on the field. However, when you sign, your papers and commit to a school, there is some weight that I think that goes along with that.
Bingo. Nobody forced you to play this game.
No.
Nobody. It's like MMA. Everybody says, "Oh, MMA is dangerous. We should make it illegal." No, nobody's forcing you to sign up.
Yeah, you know what you signed up for.
Look, we gotta move on. This is a great conversation. This is why I knew
We're bumming everyone out.
I opened it up. I'm like, I even asked Dustin if he wanted to come on. He's sick. He's like, yeah, I'm coming on. He's like, no, I'm too sick. It's like, I'll just open up, let everybody on. We can go 8 hours. Man, we're going to continue talking Tennessee football all off-season long. Shot by Andrew for 2 says, sup, guys? Ready to see Nico get to work. We got to transition this thing back. The title of the stream is Citrus Bowl Preview. We're an hour and 45 minutes in. We've not even mentioned the Citrus Bowl. We're going to keep it short, and we're going to keep it sweet.
That's because, on Rocky Top, they like RLDs. On Talkin VAWLS, we like LWDs. Long-winded dudes.
Yeah, long-winded dudes. Dude, every one of us is long-winded. None of us ever shut up. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, my wife's like, how long are you going to be live? I'm like, an hour. She's like, that's a lie. That means at least an hour and a half. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Probably more like 2 hours. And we're approaching an hour and 45 minutes. Tennessee, Iowa, coming up January 1st. Look, we're going to do this is perfect. This is perfect because Friday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, Coach Jay, Coach Rice, Eastern time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, we're going to be live on the Talkin VAWLS Network. We'll dive deeper into the Tennessee-Iowa matchup. Coach Rice is off. Coach Jay's off. We're going to do a Monday or a Friday morning stream, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure you guys tune into that. We'll deep dive this Iowa matchup with Tennessee. And then we're going to be live Sunday night, New Year's Eve, 7 p.m. Eastern time, fan call-in show. That's where you, the members of the channel, get to come on, drive the show. If you're not a member, fix that. If you don't have a Power T beside your name, I have heard that you're a Colorado fan. Fix that. Hit the join button down below. It's $1 freaking dollar. That's it, $1. We would appreciate the support. Let's talk about it. Tennessee, Iowa, they were opened at, 8.5? Coach Jay said they're down to 6.5 at this point after confirming that Nico is going to start. I brought up that article earlier about the opt-outs, and one of the things when you look at Iowa, they've had a couple of quarterbacks transfer, enter the portal. They got their starting quarterback injured, but they've also got a guy that's played a lot of football for them. The guy that's going to be playing on Saturday or on Monday, Deacon Hill on the year, 115 of 233, 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Iowa sucks on the offensive side of the ball. They are they're like perforated paper. They're terrible. 16 points a game. That's 130th. In college football. They are dead last in total offense. Defensively, pretty good. They only allow 13 points a game. Nico's going to be tested. He's going to be thrown to the fire on Monday. Passing yards game, 172. That's 9th in the country. Rushing yards, 102. That is 13th in the country. But let's not even get into it. Let's not deep dive it. We'll do that on Friday morning. Let's go ahead and give our predictions. Give me a couple of minutes what you think about the matchup. Give me your official score prediction. We'll just go around the room left to right, top to bottom. Coach Jay, what do you got?
I expect a kind of a slow game out of the get-go. I do think that you will see a score in the first quarter out of Tennessee, but I expect a really hard-fought game in this. I expect Iowa's DBs to be bullish in this game. I've already read a couple quotes from them saying they were surprised by the decision, but they're not changing their game plan. They're going to be bullish, and they expect at least 2 to 3 interceptions against the freshmen. So if they're going to be jumping routes like that, then Nico's going to put up a lot of yards against them and kind of turn them into punks because he's got the game to do it. So they can go ahead and try to jump all the routes they want. That ain't going to work out very well for them. I think our defense is going to be dominant in this game, guys. I think they're going to shut down really well. I think you're going to see a big game out of Ricky Gibson at cornerback. I think he's really going to surprise a lot of people. I think he's going to run support really well. I think he's going to be able to lock down that other corner spot. The area of concern, I think, is obviously Iowa's tight ends against our linebackers. A little thin there, still a little young there. I think they're going to be trying to put them into conflict. post crossing routes, just mixing them up quite a bit. I got Tennessee winning this game 28-9. Go Big Orange.
Wow. You're all over my prediction. All over it. I love it. Coach Rice, what do you got?
All right. So I got Nico going to come in. I think he keeps the boat running as far as first drive scores. We've done that 10 times this year. I think he keeps it going. I think we're going to come out the boat. He's going to throw 55 yards on the first drive. Dylan Seps is going to get a couple big rushes. And Jacob Warren's going to tie the all-time tight end record for touchdowns on the first drive. So I think that will be how the first drive goes. Defense, I'm not worried about it at all. Y'all, it's just that
roll
bad.
the five of us out there.
Yeah.
We'll be all right.
Offense is awful. I mean, y'all, it's pathetic.
And it got worse.
They're missing 2 tight ends too. I didn't even mention that.
It's to the point where we can play base and not it's just they're not going to be able to move the ball on us. I just fully believe that. I think Squirrel White's going to have a big game. If we recall the last time I said that, it happened. I think his speed's going to be a difference. And I think Dylan Seps is going to have a big game. So if you put those two together, that means Nico's going to have a big game, and it's going to be his coming out party, getting ready for 2024. Final score prediction, 42-14.
Oh, my good. Dude, that would be perfect.
14.
That'd be perfect. Launch us into the offseason on a high. X, what do you got, brother?
All right. So you said like something short and sweet. Like I said, just stick to your game plan like you've been doing this whole season. Just run the football. Shove it down Iowa's throat. I feel like we're definitely going to see some Dylan Sampson, Cam Selden actions and see what the future's going to look like with that 1-2 punch. As far as our wide receivers go, you're going to see Squirrel ball out as usual. I would love to see more Caleb Webb action, Chaz Nimrod action, get more touches for them, see what the future looks like for those boys. And, of course, the man of the hour, that's going to start for this game. I nicknamed him the Kid. That's what I've been calling him at that UConn game. I was jumping, screaming, excited to see him come onto the field, but really excited for Nico to start, see what the future is going to look like for him carrying forward. So if you ask me, go ahead and like I said, going into next year strong, I'm going to say Tennessee 36, Iowa 18.
Yeah, I got some random ass scores.
Hey, real quick before Dauber goes. Bold prediction. Jalen McCullough gets a pick 6 in his final game at Tennessee.
He's trying to steal stuff from me. He's trying to say stuff before
He's
I
all
get
up
to
in
say
your.
something.
I read your notes, Boogie.
If you could see my notes. Real quick before Dauber's prediction, Philip Scow for 5 says, Coach Jay, what is your bold prediction for Nico's first start?
Yeah, I kind of said in the chat, I predict a long rushing touchdown, maybe 30 to 40 yards out, 2 to 3 through the air. I kind of lean towards 2. I think he'll be somewhere between 275, 300 through the air. And guys, listen, that's a huge prediction out of Nico. This Iowa defense's game, their secondary is game. They have 8 people in their secondary who've had over 25 tackles, multiple picks. This is a real test for a freshman quarterback. Make no mistake.
All right, Dauber, what do you got, brother?
All right. I think this is going to be I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be tough sledding. It's going to be one of those grinded out. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what we've had thrown out already to this point. You look back to last year, look at the Orange Bowl when we played a pretty good in their conference Clemson team. But we talked about it just a minute ago. The landscape of college football, the opt-outs, all the unknowns. It's hard to look back at this 8-4 team and make a prediction. And same thing can be said for Iowa. You've got guys that contributed and aren't going to be playing. New guys stepping into roles. Clemson had a freshman quarterback with minimal on-field experience come in last year. Lots of talent, lots of athletic ability, and he looked like a bum. I don't think Nico's going to come in and do that. I think he is, the cream's going to rise to the top. I think he's going to have a good game, but I think the offense is going to it's not going to click and not going to, you're going to be skipping gears. You're going to be grinding a little bit. It's not going to be up to full speed. You're not going to 0 to 60, in a couple seconds. I think it's going to be tough going against this Iowa defense. That I'm not worried about them scoring a whole heck of a lot, but we do have some questions. We've had questions all year on defense, and then we've got a laundry list of guys that have looked on the other side of the fence and hitting the transfer portal and all that. Secondary, I'm a little bit, how's that going to play out? I've got the score being 27-17, Tennessee. So I'm kind of trying to be realistic, and I think there are so many unknowns, and I'm excited to watch the game. I'm excited to begin this new era with Nico at center, and leading the boys down the field. But I don't think it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows down at the bowl game to start out with. I think it's going to take a while to get their footing. But I think this trajectory of this program and where they're headed is in the right direction. And I believe in the staff, and I believe in what you've got going. I believe in what you've got coming into Knoxville, guys like Bennett Warren and all these other young guys that are coming in. The culture is where it needs to be, and I'm excited to be a Vol fan.
I will say of my 42, 14 or I guess 12 points of it is off of defensive scores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's because of how bad their offense is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it'd be a late pull away.
That's the thing for me is how bad their offense is, right? Mm-hmm. And like when you look at the opt-outs, like I get it. Look at the number. What is it? 7 defensive backs that Tennessee has lost to the transfer portal. I understand, but that plays like I would much rather lose defensive guys against a horrible Iowa offense than I would imagine if Jacob Warren and McAllen Castles and Squirrel White, all these guys, all these weapons were opting out. And I get it. We're losing Jalen Wright. Like that dude is a stud. That's the guy that I wish was playing on Saturday. Jabari Small, I've defended him all year. I don't think it's a big problem. Like if you had Jalen Wright and Dylan Sampson, let's go. Like I hate that Jalen Wright's not playing in this football game, but the majority of our opt-outs, the majority of our transfers are on the defensive side of the ball. And Iowa is awful. Coach Rice said it. They are horrible on offense. They are terrible.
Terrible.
On the flip side, they're pretty good on defense, but guess what? We got Nico, and I'm excited about Nico, and I think he's going to impact this game. But I'm going to go with what Coach Rice said. I think Tennessee scores at least, what'd you say, 2 defensive touchdowns? I'm going with 1. I think at least 1, whether it's a pick six, scoop score, something. Tennessee's going to score on defense, and I just don't think Iowa can score on Tennessee's defense. I don't think they can, and I think Nico is going to be a difference maker on offense. And I'm going 27-10. What, Coach Jay? What'd you say? Was it 26? It was. You were
28-9.
You were 1 point off of both. I'm going 27-10. I think Tennessee wins this football game. I hope we're coming out of this game talking about Nico, because that's going to get everybody excited for 2024. And I've seen a lot of people in the chat, in the comments on Facebook say, "What are y'all going to do when Nico struggles against Iowa?" I'm going to say he's a freshman, and I'm still excited about his future.
They're a great defense. Like listen, no one here has pumped Nico more than me. That's a tough first outing for any good quarterback. Like Michigan's quarterback struggled with them. They moved the ball on the ground well and won with that game with their defense. Iowa's got a good defense. I know it's at times been against lesser competition or Big Ten competition. I get that the speed's different, but their secondary is pretty special, and they can get after the QB too. So expect a fight out of them early. You're going to have to whip them, and you're going to have to take that defense's heart away.
People want to compare Joe Milton to Nico, and they want to say, "Oh, y'all crucified Joe Milton all year long. You're going to crucify Nico if he struggles against Iowa?" No, I'm not. Because he's not
senior versus freshman.
Yeah, he's not He's not a 6-year COVID senior.
Exactly.
Versus a true freshman. So no, the standards are different. The future is bright for Nico. I'm excited that he's getting this opportunity. I think it's perfect for the future of Tennessee football. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to be live Friday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Coach Jay, Coach Rice. We're going to deep dive this game a little bit more. We're going to break it down for you. Come hang out for one last morning stream of 2023. Sunday night, we're going to do a fan call-in show. Come hang out for that on January 1st. We're going to do a tailgate show. You guys get to come on. We're going to do a post-game show, and then guess what? It is full steam ahead recruiting coverage. There's still some transfer portal nuggets. I may be dropping a transfer portal video tomorrow morning. Let's add another weapon for Nico. Spoiler alert. Tune in for that. I'm excited about recruiting, man. We did a film breakdown for Jamad McCoy. It's the most viewed film breakdown we've ever done. We got a great one coming on Jamal Wallace on Sunday. Make sure you check that out. And then the sky's the limit, man. We've already talked it. Coach Jay, Coach Rice, we're going to do a live film breakdown in January. They're going to pick their top targets in the state of Tennessee. Coach Rice, offense. Coach Jay, defense. They're going to make you guys in the chat. I'm going to be the moderator. You guys in the chat are going to have to pick where would you go first? Who would be your priority, offense or defense? That's going to be fun. Pit these two guys against each other. Tons of content coming your way. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure the bell is clicked. Make sure you go check out the Talkin VAWLS merch. Bonfire.com/store/TalkinVAWLS. The links are in the description below. Shout out to Bennett Warren. Fun interview. His links are in the description below as well. We going to get out the door for Coach Jay, for Coach Rice, for the X Factor, for Dauber. My name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and